Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, iTunes, and more. There's at least 15 more that I'm not even saying because it was hard enough to remember all of those. But you all know, wherever you get your podcasts, you'll find me. And I'm so grateful that I get to do this. I hope you know how much fun I have, and I hope you have just as much fun listening, because I want to balance out all of the bad news that's out there, all of the angry rhetoric, the conspiracy theories, the what's wrong with you, what's wrong with people, who killed who, who's not doing what, with some good news. It's not that I'm pretending like there's nothing wrong. There is always something wrong because that's how we improve, right? But instead of talking about problem, it's my job to say problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. And the solutions are my guests, the topics, and I'm so glad, thanks to you, or no thanks to you, I am the number one 8 a.m. show here on the number one talk news station in the Inland Empire. So thank you very much for that. And while I'm thanking, I would be remiss if I didn't thank all the guys, and they are all guys, that are supporting me at KCAA. Thank you, Fred, Mark, Rick, Eric, and now Miguel, who's doing some work on the back end. Thank you so much for being so accommodating in everything that I'm doing and trying to help get this word of what's right with people out to the world. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's show with Betty White's message. I'm going to play it again right now because it's important that we help the animals.
Thank you for supporting Actors and Others for Animals. We started a long, long time ago. So when you find an organization like Actors and Others for Animals, it sort of unites all of those of us who want to pay back something for all the joy we get out of animals. Please keep up the good work. Believe me, it's deeply appreciated.
Then please join me in accepting Betty White's $100 challenge to help actors and others for animals. You can donate at BettyWhiteChallenge.com. That's BettyWhiteChallenge.com. And thank you ahead of time from Dr. Marissa for helping my beautiful guest, Loretta Switz, organization that helps animals all over the world. And thank you for all of the love that I'm getting, especially from the Corey Feldman, Courtney Ann Feldman camp. I had a great time at the launch party. I had to leave a little bit early so I could get back down to do the show. And but that was my first time in the Doheny room. Very fun. Met a lot of great people. And I actually got to interview some really amazing offspring of actors that you may recognize their name. Groundbreaking actors like Robert Mitchum, as well as Jackie Coogan, who was a child star in the silent movie era. Charlie Chaplin discovered Jackie Coogan in the Orpheum Theater and cast him in a lot of his silent films. In 1922, Coogan was cast as the title role in Oliver Twist, directed by Frank Lloyd. And then you'll remember him as Uncle Fester in the Addams Family. And the interesting fact about Jackie Coogan is he sued his mom and stepfather over his squandered film earnings as a child actor and provoked California to enact the first known legal protection for the earnings of child performers, the California Child Actors Bill, widely known as the Coogan Act. So I got to talk to his grandson as well as Robert Mitchum's grandson with some words that his grandfather left him about acting. And you'll know the name Robert Mitchum because he got an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for the story of G.I. Joe and many, many notable films, including River of No Return, Thunder Road, The Winds of War, and the sequel, War and Remembrance. So here are their soundbite interviews that I got last night, thanks to Corey Feldman and his launch party of love. And good evening, this is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, reporting live here at the beautiful Doheny Room with none other than my friend, Corey Feldman.
Well, hello there. How are you, my dear?
I'm so happy and excited for your launch party here.
Oh, thank you. We're so excited to have you here, Dr. Marissa. It's so nice of you to come down.
Of course, I wouldn't miss this celebration, and he's signing it. Asian Oprah giveaway. This is what happens when you have very
friends in high
talented
places. When you have friends in high places, you get free stuff. Isn't that cool?
Yes, and you get a box set, and you get a box set. And then Courtney over here is going to sign it as well. This is my my favorite couple and my sweetheart.
We love you so much. We're so grateful that you're here and supporting the cause and the love and all of it. It's just so wonderful. Thank you.
The cause is love, by the way.
Yes.
That's our message. That's what we're spreading. That's all we're trying to do, is get people thinking on a higher plane and on a higher vibration, because we need to bond together in this world, and especially in this country right now. We need to bond together. We need to forgive and forget and move on.
That's right. I'm going to get on the other side. Oh, no. Thank you.
Present you this box.
Look at the beautiful artwork. This is what we were talking about on the show. Yes.
Yes.
Hug. How excited are you?
So excited. This is like the big night. I'm going to be DJing our documentary, showing the documentary about the music, and everybody's going to get to see it and hear the wonderful music that's playing in the background right now.
And you are all over the album. I heard the pretty story about her 2nd year anniversary. Tell me that.
Yes, the song is called Oh Courtney, and it's literally written to her. It's a beautiful song, and but it's a fun song. It's not like a big, sappy love song like you'd expect. It's a lot cuter than that, folks.
Well, he said it was when he was poor and he couldn't get her anything, so he wrote her a song.
That's right. Well, I mean, I don't know about poor, but I was, I was
You said you would. Yeah.
too broke that year to get her a proper gift, so,
That's beautiful. I think it's the best gift of all.
I may have said poor. If I did,
always.
I shouldn't have said that word.
All right, ready?
The best gifts
know
come
this.
from the heart.
Peace in, peace out, world peace, through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live with Corey Feldman, Lovebox 2.1. Get it at www.coreyfeldman.net. Limited supply, and Courtney Feldman.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
They are, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
But like Keith Coogan is here, Jamison Newlander from Lost Boys.
Dr. Marissa, you know me as the Asian Oprah, reporting live from the Doheny Room as I continue to meet friends of Corey Feldman, and he pointed me out and said I had to meet this guy. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell me who you are and why are you here.
My name is Bentley Mitchum. I'm here because I'm a friend of Corey's. We did a movie together back in the 90s.
Wow.
So I've known him for a long time, and of course,
What was that?
it was a comedy that the title got changed once it was made, and it ended up being called Meatballs 4.
Okay.
But I've known him since then, off and on. We become close over the past 2 years again.
And you have a very famous grandfather?
I do. My grandfather was an actor by the name of Robert Mitchum. And actually, on my mom's side, her father was one of the original Our Gang members. So acting on both sides of the family, yeah.
So you had it in your blood?
I think so. Yeah. The arts, anyway, one way or another.
So what's the key to success in being an actor?
Probably perseverance. I think everyone will get a shot. Just make sure you're prepared.
Right.
And stay with it if it's what you want. Do what you love.
Okay.
Do it without expectation. Do it without attachment. Do it because you love it.
Do you get advice from your grandfather?
I did when he was alive. I did. His basic advice was show up on time, say what you mean, and don't trip over the cables. That was it.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for stopping by and having a word.
Thank you.
At Corey Feldman's launch party, and I just ran into the
grandson of Jackie Coogan, Keith Coogan, yay! And me and Corey first worked together in The Fox and the Hound many years ago for Disney.
Very cool. So how excited are you with your own box set?
Very excited. Look at this thing. I can't wait to see the Corey hologram. That's very excited about that.
So nice to meet you. Peace
Very
and
nice
blessings
meet
to you.
Get your Love Left box set. Just $222. 222. Rock and roll.
Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, I have a very special guest. His name is Scott Knudsen. He actually has a show on this station. He's a cowboy entrepreneur, and he's been struck by lightning. So that story and more when we come back here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, iTunes, and more, because, I want to maximize my splatter zone for hope and happiness so you can be happy 88% of the time. And to that end, I get to bring guests and topics to you to help you with that. And I have an interesting guest for you. His name is Scott Knudsen, and he's a fifth-generation Texas cowboy and lightning strike survivor. As host of Cowboy Entrepreneur, an upbeat lifestyle magazine show at the crossroads of horses and business, Scott takes viewers behind the scenes with Olympians to filmmakers, rodeo stars. Oh no, rodeo stars. You can tell I'm from California. Rodeo stars to toy makers, even photographers in hip wader boots, sharing the inspiration of lives touched by horses and the power of positivity. Now you know why he's a guest. Headquartered at his Lightning K Ranch in Fredericksburg, Texas, Scott is an American Quarter Horse Association professional horseman and ambassador. Cowboy Entrepreneur airs weekly on Southern California's NBC affiliate KCAA Radio. You may have heard of it, Spotify, Stitcher, and on multiple video platforms. He is a fellow host on my home station. Please welcome to the studio, Scott Knudsen.
Dr. Marissa, it's so great to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome to this show and welcome to the station, although you've been there about, 6 months now?
6 months. Congratulations for being on the morning show, for being the morning show.
Thank you. Yes, after I think it was 440 consecutive weeks, Fred decided to celebrate by bumping me from a weekly show to a morning show.
That's
and
terrific.
I don't know if I quite thought that through. After I said yes, thinking that it would be maybe like a little bit of more work, right? But going from once a week to 5 times a week. And then, before I didn't have to worry about the news and the weather and the sports. So basically it's 3 shows a day, 3 segments times 5, which is 15. But, life is short. And the expression is, I juice my life. And it sounds like you juice your life too. So first of all, I have to say, the funny story is when Fred asked me if I would have you on my show as a favor. And he said, this really interesting guy, and he's been struck by lightning not once, but twice. And he's had near brush death experience, blah, blah, blah. And I emailed him back and I said, is he going to be alive for my show? I got a rare LOL from Fred on a response. So that was worth it.
That's a huge deal.
It is. Yeah. So let's start with the lightning, because I don't know anybody. You burst my lightning strike bubble. Virgin bubble. Tell me where you were, what happened, and did you singe? Are you normally like paler, or is that why you're wearing a hat? I don't know. Go ahead.
Not at all. It happened 16 years ago, and my wife is a city girl and a model, and I'm a country boy, and we got married and we moved to the ranch, and she was home, and now she drives the tractor. She's great out here on the ranch. But anyway, she cleaned the tractor, and she called me and said, "Hey, I cleaned the tractor. Drive down to the barns." And this is great, and we had a 1-year-old baby, my baby daughter, our only child. And I drive down there, and it's raining about 15 miles away. So it was sunny at our place, and I'm holding my daughter on my left side. My wife is on the right. And we're standing out there, and all of a sudden I hear the loudest boom, the brightest light, and the lightning went in front of my wife and messed her eyes up a little bit, that day, but it went in my head out my left hand, and it wrapped around my daughter. And
what?
It was chaos. There was dust because it was so bright and so loud. Our hearing was messed up, and the horses were loose. We have some that just run the pasture. There was dust because they were running around. It was complete chaos. And once we kind of came to, we were almost laughing about it because we couldn't believe it really happened because it wasn't raining. Something else must have happened. That was our thought. And it was like in the old days when you would pull out your TV and put it back in, all the fuzzies. That's what happened. I remember going to the house and I don't remember. This is what Tracy tells me because I don't remember. And I remember trying to dial 911, but I was on my home computer. And at those days, you couldn't do that. And I told my wife, I said, I'm fine. And so she went to town, which we're 20 minutes out of town, to get the birthday cake for the party for my daughter. And she came back and my eyes were black. My face was black. My head was burning. And
literally burning?
Yeah. Well, not on fire smoking, but it was like you could tell there was it was pretty, it was.
So did the hair singe?
Yeah. It was just right there, and we're okay now, but it was just burning. And so we went into the hospital and they didn't know what to do. They've never seen somebody live through it. We saw people.
Wow.
And it was pretty bad, messed up some stuff. And,
messed up my stuff. Messed up what
just internal organs, and
really?
it was
Like,
so crazy. About 3 or 4 months later, I remember sitting there and the fillings in my teeth would just fall out. and from the time I was hit by lightning, before, I had a great childhood. I was really blessed, and I don't remember a lot of it. It just took the memory away. Every once in a while, a piece comes back, a piece leaves, and I just don't remember it. And my friends, and family from way back, well, not family, but friends, I go back home and they're like, I tell whoever I'm with, make sure I don't look rude or ugly, because I don't want to like big time anybody, because I'm not, but they would tell me who it is, and they kind of explain the situation. And I remember.
You don't remember people that you went to school with?
No, and some great stories, and and I remember.
Now, sorry, quick question.
Yeah.
So if people tell you those stories now of when you grew up, can you remember it now?
Sometimes I remember parts. It's the funniest thing because I don't know. Sometimes I remember it and then it's gone. Sometimes I remember parts and then I don't know if it's because I've heard the story.
Sorry,
but
it's you're alive. I mean, what did you do research? I would have done research on how many people survive and how many people don't survive. Not many, huh?
Not many.
How many people have survived that are alive right now?
I don't know, but there's not many. We've been on, I guess there's really not a lot because we've been on, different networks talking about it and big, the weather channels. And
wow.
I remember sitting on the floor with my daughter, and she's like 1.5, 2.
Did she cry?
I don't remember. She was tough. She got examined, and thank goodness I was the ground because I was the tallest. Okay. And I remember sitting on the floor with her because this was after the fact, and we were watching the Wiggles. And we were coloring, and she could color in the box or whatever she was. I was all over the I couldn't even control. So I had to learn to read, write, and I told her, one day I'm going to catch up to your reading level. And I haven't yet, but
wow.
But
this
just happened. So
yeah, it's amazing. And we're going to have to take a little break for the news. So we'll be right back. And I'm sure you're going to want to hear the rest of this story that is truly something that doesn't happen to everybody. So we'll be right back with more. And Scott Knudsen here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where if you free subscribe, you will get an alert for every new show that drops at 8 a.m. every weekday morning. And we are on show number 616, I believe. And who's counting? But you can not only get my past shows on my YouTube channel, you can also see my new short film called The PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities, as well as my red carpet playlist with interviews with people like John Travolta, Halle Berry, Quincy Jones, and more. So make sure you free subscribe there. And today we have a very interesting first one of a kind for me, a guy who got struck by lightning and lived to tell about it. His name's Scott Knudsen, and he's also the Cowboy entrepreneur. We're going to find out more about that right now. Welcome back to the show, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you.
And my condolences on the burning. So health-wise, you're okay now for the most part. You got your fillings back, put back.
Everything's good. We don't look at it as a negative. Most of our neighbors didn't even know it, about it, or our other extended family. We just didn't tell anyone. We just wanted to get well and get over. And we did, and it was on a national network, a weather channel, and a weather network. And we told them, and we started getting phone calls like, "Why didn't you talk about it?" I'm like, we just moved on. So we named the ranch Lightning K for the Lightning and Knudsen. And that became our family brand. So, when we brand our horses or I put the brand on the truck, we didn't want to run away from it. We wanted to run to it, accept it, and move on. And then, as a cowboy, you just never talk about when you get hurt. And I was fortunate enough to speak at Texas A&M. They asked me to speak about 3 or 4 years ago. And one of the students, I said, y'all can ask me anything after the talk. And they said, have you ever got hurt? Now, I was at a quandary, I didn't know what to say because as a cowboy, you don't talk about it. And I did, I told them about the lightning. I told them about the other couple of times we died and the 60 broken bones and the 9 concussions and everything. I just laid it out there and I saw people lean in and I was like, man, there's something here. And they said, tell us about your failures. And I said, it's the only way you learn. And I told him, I said, I got to be the smartest guy in the room because I failed so many times. But if you learn from it, you're not failing, you're actually learning, which is going to put you to the next level. And they leaned in and I was like, man, there's something here. So we started calling some people and started sharing our story. And that's kind of what the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show is about. We talk about how people get to a certain level. It's not the highest level. It's how you get there. And man, it's fun. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Now, when besides the Weather Channel, I know if I was a scientist, I would want to contact you to find out and document all this. Have you had any curious doctors or researchers or?
We've had a few phone calls. We've been on Weather Nation and Fox News and just several different ones and talked to them, been on their shows. And, now we talk about it. Everything's fine. We just work through it and stronger because of it. I wish I could remember, some things beforehand because I had a great life growing up, I had a great family and I was really blessed, but now I just cherish every day and every moment, every moment.
So tell me about all these broken bones.
We live life, and being a cowboy and you just get hurt sometime and you just get well, you learn from it, you going down the road and
falling off horses.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Horses and we rodeo. We trained horses for a long time. Still train our own, and just part of it. And but we learn from. We just but we don't look at them as negatives. We really don't.
Wow, that's you're preaching to the choir for sure.
I love that. Yeah.
Now, what's interesting to me though is I'm wondering you don't tell, you don't share, you don't. That's a cowboy thing. Is it a be a tough man thing? Don't be a sissy thing. Is it because I know in my Chinese culture, we have a saying that says the nail that stands up gets hammered down. And that's also in Chinese and Japanese. So we're told not to toot your own horn. You're told not, but this is a little bit different because you're not tooting your horn about positive, which you can do. It's about crybaby stuff. Is that about correct?
I love that saying. I'm glad you said that. It wasn't to be like a macho guy or a tough guy or anything like that. You just, why make somebody else worry? I can fix it, or I've doctored myself before. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but when you're out on the ranch, that's your option, and it wasn't to be tough or anything like that. It's just, why bring somebody else down? Because when I would see somebody, they wouldn't know I was hurt. But the only reason I started talking about it is because I saw the kids lean in. And when they leaned in and they wanted to hear, I could see them wanting to talk. And after the talk, they were saying, well, I heard this and I struggle here with my grades. What can I do? And it just opened up conversation. So that's why we talk about it now.
Got it. That makes sense. So tell me a bit more about your show. that is on what time? We'll do a little commercial here. And how do people tune in?
Awesome. So it's on 6 p.m. Pacific on Wednesdays on KCAA.
All
and
right.
Then, and it's on their platforms. It's also on my platforms and for the podcast, and that's how they tune in.
Okay, and what's the most interesting guest you've had?
Oh my goodness, we've had so many. That's kind of like picking your favorite child. That's why we only had one. Yeah, I mean, we've had everybody from Ashley Avis, who wrote The Black Stallion for Disney, to Kansas Carradine, to Debbie Roberts. So we've had everything from Olympians to Hall of Famers. Business successful in business, and into horse training, the world champs. Mm-hmm. And I love talking to people like that. Not so much for their stature or where they are in life, but we talk about the story of how to get there. And that is so much fun to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just thought of something that one of my normal questions that I ask most of my guests is, when you were a kid, did you know you would be doing what you're doing now? But you can't answer that question because you don't remember.
Heck, not even as an adult did I think I'd be doing this. Okay. My place was in a saddle or something like that. And when I was asked to do that talk, they just won the national championship. I had no idea. My niece asked me to go down there and talk. I thought it was just going to be a small room, but it was full. And but once people leaned in, I thought it was the right thing to do, and one thing led to another. And I'm so glad I'm doing it now. I couldn't imagine not doing it. I wouldn't be talking to you, I mean, it's so much fun to get to do this.
Yeah, because you were formerly shy, right?
I was.
You don't remember. I'm going to have to talk to your mom and dad about this, because obviously your memory is gone. Yeah. But I would guess that it's not. Sarcasm is another service I offer. You're as shy as I am.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Got me blushing. Yeah. I never wanted to be in front of the camera or anything. And it just kind of happened. And I love it now. And I love the people I get to meet and the people I get to talk to. And that builds my passion. And if somebody learns something from our show or gets inspired from our show or one of my talks somewhere, then it's a great day, and if they learn from something I did or one of the guests, or they get inspired, that means everything to me. We don't have to do this cowboy entrepreneur, but I love it so much. That's why I want to do it.
Right. Now, horses are a little bit of an interesting reaction for me, because I love horses. I've always loved horses from the time I was a child, but somewhere between, I want to say like before age 10, I had to stop being on horses because I developed a severe allergy to horses. So when I was in Philadelphia, I think I was like 12 or 13, I pet a police horse. And that was the last time, because I turned into like the Elephant Man, and I had hives the size of my head all over my body. And I almost died from, the anaphylactic reaction. So as much as I love horses and how beautiful they are, I have this a little bit of a reticence for horses. So I'll ask you, in working with horses as you have, what can humans learn from horses?
Oh my goodness, there's so much. And that's why I like our show, is because you don't have to be a cowboy to like the show. There's just so much. And with the horse, that's such a great question. I can't talk to them and they understand. I have to communicate at liberty, which, I watch the horses in the field, and whenever the alpha or the main horse walks in, they all separate. When they tweak an ear, they're looking at something. And you can tell when their muscles are tight, they're nervous about something. The way they communicate, and they're a herd animal. And I think that's a lot like us. I love having my friends and family around. And the way I learn from them is the way they take care of each other. And that part right there, they take care of me. I mean, they've done everything to put food on my table for my family, to help me get well. I remember looking out the window at them after, like if I broke my neck or my back or something like that, I couldn't walk. So I would look at them and I was like, man, I got to get well so I go out and pet my horses. And then it was, okay, I can pet them. Now I want to get back on. And they've always taken care of us. And I owe it to them to take care of them. And people that don't ride, or, we have people in the city that might not have ever been around a horse. They can go on our social media and they can see videos of horses and they can enjoy them that way. And that's okay too, so it's really fun.
So I'm going to ask a little bit of a provocative question, pretending that I'm from PETA, which I'm not.
Okay.
But, with the sensitivities around animals and I'm very against, I had Rick O'Barry as a guest on my show. And I don't know if you remember that name, but he's the one that the documentary, The Cove, was about.
Okay.
Which was the cousin to the Blackfish. Okay. In Taiji, Japan. He went and single-handedly stopped the slaughtering of dolphins in the Cove in Taiji, Japan. That they were doing that in order to isolate smartest dolphins to sell to Marine Land, SeaWorld, and so forth. So I'm actively against animals in captivity. Now, for dogs and for obviously horses, can you sort of talk to me about the distinction between wild horses, and are they more happy than horses in the ranch that get branded, which hurts when I think about it? You brought it up. So
I did, there's a reason we do that. Theft is a big issue. And that's one way. There's brand inspection. They check to make sure, it's more for the horse's sake. So something bad doesn't happen to them that way. Whether a horse is more comfortable out in the wild forever or with me, man, that's a tough question. It's kind of like asking if somebody likes living in the city as opposed to living in the country. Some people are fit for living in downtown Manhattan, where some people are set for West Texas. It's kind of a preference deal. I think if you're raised in a certain environment, you're a lot more comfortable. I know I am. And I feel that's part of it, and also.
Although the horse doesn't really have a choice. If the horse is born in captivity, it's born, on a ranch. It doesn't have the choice to say, I'm going to move to the forest or the beach, right?
There's some advantages to being a human, yeah.
Yeah. No, I always wondered about that because a lot of, animal sensitivity, they don't talk about that. They talk about the zoos. But anyways, I just thought it was an interesting.
It is a great question. I can speak for my horses. I don't know about anybody else's, but they get pampered.
They're pretty happy.
Oh my goodness. They a while ago I went out there and they were a couple of them were in the garage, and they just come around us because they like being around us. And that tells me, they're pretty happy guys.
Yeah. All right. Let's get personal now.
All right, let's do it.
You're married.
Yes.
And I love hearing stories of how people met their wife or their husband or their partner or their significant other. So how did that all happen?
Man, I wouldn't say significant. So she, like I say, she was in San Antonio and she was a model, and we just kind of bumped into each other at a restaurant, and I was in El Paso riding, and I was a cowboy, and she didn't know I was a cowboy. I was kind of dressed a little bit different, and I asked her to go out with me. She said, okay.
No. Back up. You can't do that. You got to go right to, were you in a restaurant? How did you see her? How did she get your eye?
We were in a restaurant and I saw her and we just started talking and I was
no, back up. So you were at a restaurant at the bar? Was she at the bar?
No, we were just getting food. It was one of these pick up your food and walk down the line kind of deals. And I saw her and I just, my goodness, I was enthralled, and we started talking. And
so, you said to her,
yeah.
I'm not going to let you gloss over this. Now, people can learn, this is.
Yeah, that's right.
So what was your line? You come here often? You eat here often?
No,
you like cowboys?
No, she didn't know I was a cowboy. So when I picked her up for our first day, I drove in from El Paso to San Antonio, which is a long way, 6-7 hours. And the night before, I broke some ribs riding, but I wasn't going to miss this date. This is very important. So we went to a dude ranch because I didn't have any horses in San Antonio right outside. And then she was like, "Oh my goodness, he's a cowboy. I don't think this is going to work out." And we had fun. We at a dude ranch, you get to ride their horses. I've never done that in my life. And the people recognized me, and it kind of worked out. And we're riding around, and
wait. You a dude ranch? What's that?
A dude ranch is where people go that kind of like City Slickers, the movie City Slickers, where you can go and you can ride and you can sit by a campfire, and it's kind of a neat deal.
Okay, because you had never done that before. You've
never done that,
before.
But I had to get her around animals. I wanted a buffer or something to keep me. I was nervous. I didn't know. And it worked out. We went on our second date and third date, and
how did you propose?
I just dropped to one knee and we did it. But we got, when we got married, we had a Western wedding, and it was so much fun. The paper came out and did San Antonio paper, and my guys had their horses, and she tells me it was the best ever. I don't remember a lot of it, but
that was before
I just
the
don't.
lightning strike.
But it was a beautiful deal, and 24 years, I guess.
You've been married for 24 years.
Yeah, almost 24. It'll be 24 in June. Yeah, I love it.
For the 25th,
ma'am.
What are you going to do for the 25th?
Whatever she wants to do. I'll take her somewhere, but we just like being around here, and we're very blessed to be here, and
that's great. And how old is your daughter now?
She's 17. She's a junior in high school, and oh my goodness.
And her name is
Haley.
And does she like horses?
She loves horses, and she is so good with animals. She's so gentle with animals, but she loves to sing and dance and act, and she's been doing that since she was 2. So there's a lot of universities. I'm sorry?
Taken after your wife?
Absolutely. Got the beauty for sure from her. And but there's universities calling her and to go there. One's in LA and one's in New York to be for them.
Which is the one in LA? Which is the one in LA?
AMDA. AMDA is one of them. I can't remember.
Is this an arts university?
Acting, yes, ma'am. Acting and dance. Yeah, but she's so humble about it, but she's fun. But when she goes out with the horses, it's so fun to watch them because those horses get so soft, they kind of melt around her, and it's
that's
really
so
neat.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Does she remember the lightning strike?
She doesn't, since she was 1, but she remembers after I get a little bit. But I'm sure it was scary for her too. I mean, that night we're in the hospital all night,
Yeah.
But she's a trooper. She's a trooper.
That's great. That's great. Well, we're running out of time as usual. So is there anything else that you would like to share with my listeners? And then I have one last question that I ask all my guests.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you so much for having me on your show. I love what you do. I follow you, and I've looked at all your social media. It's really, really great what you do.
Thank you.
And I hope that your listeners and your viewers come check us out. Come watch Cowboy Entrepreneur Show on Wednesday nights and see our social media. And even if they don't have a horse, they can look at horses and just interaction and the border collie that hangs out with us all the time.
What's his name?
Dusty.
Got it.
He's a border collie with blue eyes, and I promise you, he gets more likes and views on there than anybody.
Does he herd the horses?
He's always helped us a lot, but he sure has. He can do it. He can work, but he's so gentle with them, and
that's so good.
It's so neat to watch. It's so neat to watch. Yeah.
And my last question is always: to who or what are you most grateful for? To who or what are you most grateful for?
Oh my goodness. God, for sure, because he put me in this position and he gave me all these opportunities to get better as a person. And it's kind of like the rubber ball effect. I got thrown down hard many, many times, but I keep getting up, and that's the story we tell. And that's, He's blessed us, I mean, heck, I wouldn't be on here talking to you, and I've enjoyed this. I can't believe it's already over. It just went so fast.
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
You do. You absolutely. Out of that.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So that nail's just going to get hammered down in a second. But we're going to finish off with an Asian Oprah giveaway. Scott has been so kind to offer 5 different. Well, to make it easy, let's just give one person.
Okay.
Now you're going to give me one too, right?
Of course.
Okay. So there's 6. So I get one thing of coffee.
Okay.
And the first listener that goes to drmarissa.life and puts down on Cowboy Entrepreneur in the subject line will get 5-pound bags of coffee. And what's special about the coffee?
It's Cowboy Entrepreneur coffee, and we have 13 different flavors. What we'll do is send a couple of dessert coffees. We'll send a little bit stronger coffee and a couple of nice blends.
How did you get into the coffee business?
I always drink coffee. I love coffee. And I was like, somebody, and I was drinking it, and they was like, Cowboys drink coffee. And I was like, yeah. So I just came up with the entrepreneur side of me said, I need to do this. So we found a great rotisserie, and they brew it for us, or they pack it for us. And just let me know what you want, and shoot me your address if you want.
Yeah. What are the different flavors again?
Oh my gosh, we got 13 or 14 now.
Okay.
Everything from chocolate amaretto to lightning. We do have a lightning one that's double caffeine. We have a Haley's blend for my daughter. That's a blend of 4 different coffees. That's a great one. Just different one. I mean, there's so many different ones. Jamaican Me Crazy. It's like a rum infused coffee. And
beautiful.
Yeah,
that's a great Asian Oprah giveaway. So you get a coffee, you get a coffee, and you get a coffee. And thank you so much, Scott, for coming on and sharing your incredible story of what happened to you. And I definitely hope that lightning does not strike twice. Okay. I don't think it'll wipe out memories of being on this show. We can't have
we don't want that. We don't want that.
We can't have that at all.
That was so much fun. I love what you stand for and what you talk about.
Thank you.
You can't hear it enough. They can't hear it enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that yours is about positivity as well, because it's we don't have enough of it for sure.
No, it's so much harder to be negative. I've never understood that. And when they see someone like you that has a morning show and podcast and listeners being positive, it almost messes people up because there's so much negativity.
Yeah. That's why I say it's all about balance.
All about balance. It really is. It really is. And
for sure.
Yeah.
And this is what I do at the end of every show.
I love it.
So if you do this, peace in, peace out, world peace.
Okay.
Through inner peace.
All right.
Beautiful. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her living room during the pandemic, hoping that you go forth and multiply the goodness that you are. And Scott's joining me in wishing you the best day ever.